Hello, happy full moon. Welcome to Hatha Yoga. In today's practice, you'll want to have 2 yoga blocks and a blanket or a beach towel that you can fold up. And let's begin in a comfortable seat. You may want to sit on that folded blanket. So it is a Capricorn full moon, and the theme of this month is nurturing home and family. A mantra for this full moon that you might consider is, I heal the familial wound by actively communicating my needs. I heal the familial wound by actively communicating my needs. So there are a couple of sources that I read about the full moons from, and one is Mijanu at Mystic Mama, and she says that Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, Father Time, who often teaches us through restrictions and limitations. But the underlying gift this master teacher is bringing us is to learn to find a way to live amidst the restrictions and to do the things that will support us in being able to live within the structures of the material world. Another source is Carrie at Magic of Eye, and she says, this full moon is the closest the moon is to the earth all year. Here are some reflections. Like a magnet on our heads, drawing out goals, ambitions, projects, responsibilities, work ethics, foundations, life lessons, reevaluating the structures and systems that work and do not work. The ones that don't are highlighted a little more with Pluto close by, digging up the graves of force versus allow. Very similar to what we practice in our physical postures, the balance of effort and letting go or ease. What if society was built on the wisdom that our goals were self-nourishment and love, first and foremost? How different would our worlds be? To not be mass generalized as cogs in the wheel of time, governed by broken systems that value productivity over longevity and vitality. To learn to mother oneself is to learn to mother the world. From a cup that is filling and full, can it then overflow more? Imagine how nature would respond with strong roots and bones, the capacity to support greater and more sustainable systems. From every angle would be a natural unfolding. No force, just allowance, a softening and opening to greater abundance. Perhaps that is the true gift of the Capricorn Cancer axis, the accomplishment of deep self-nourishment and love. And all structures built around this supports slow, meaningful growth that fractals outwards. That is what is needed to midwife us into a new world. We are setting up the foundations for generations to come, and what an honor it is. So let us treat it as so. And lastly, astrologer Dawn Harrison says, there's a mountain you need to climb. What is your mountain? Each of us has one unique. It could be healing family wounds by communicating needs, breaking patterns, taking responsibility and making amends, moving on without clear closure. Your mountain could be many things, and this full moon in Capricorn wants you to take the first reach to the ascent. Just some food for thought. See what resonates with you as you begin to feel into what exists in your body right now. Maybe close the eyes, sit up tall. Notice the sensations that are informing you. Land your awareness on the breath, feeling its natural rising and falling. And sense your energetic being, how you feel energetically. Tune into your mind and your emotional state. Notice what's present there for you. So what are you wrapping up on this full moon today? What is being illuminated for you that may have been in the shadows of your consciousness? Take a moment to clarify your intention for today's practice, this Hatha Vinyasa flow practice. Let's begin to deepen the breath slowly in through the nose, slowly out through the lips. And then beyond our individual selves, highlight someone or a community, a greater collective that you care about to perhaps dedicate today's practice to. As we talk about healing familial wounds, maybe there's a relative that you would like to make amends with, perhaps dedicate this practice to them, whether they're living or an ancestor. Let's join our voices together, chanting 3 Oms. Inhale deeply. Slowing down the breath, closing the lips, let's begin the practice of Ujjayi Pranayama, or victorious breathing. As you sustain your breath, balance the in and out. Softly narrow the back of your throat, invite a gentle whispering sound. Listening to your breaths, you can keep it going audibly, gently, evenly through much of our physical yoga practice. And with that, let's start to make our way into downward facing dog. If you have blocks, please frame the top of your mat with your 2 blocks. And as you come down to hands and knees, separating your wrists right under the shoulders, stretch your index fingers parallel to point forward, thumbs flat. Step your knees a couple inches behind your hips, and tucking your toes, lift your hips high and back, entering Adho Mukha Svanasana for a few breaths. Move your body in any way that helps you to loosen it up. You might slowly pedal your feet in place. You might swivel the hips left and right. Maybe move the head side to side, nodding the head. Imagine that your palms, as they remain still, are pushing your mats into the earth and forward away from your feet. Allow your hips to rise even higher and further back. Lift the shoulders similarly and rotate your triceps or outer upper arms towards the mat. As you firm in the belly, press the top fronts of your thigh bones back, sinking your heels deeper towards the ground. Maybe the knees remain bent. Maybe the heels don't touch the earth. Then let's pause here, a couple more deep breaths. Hugging your outer hips towards each other. Try to keep your 2 hips leveled in height as you breathe in to raise the right leg behind you. Exhaling, slowly bend that knee towards your nose and rounding forward, press the mat away with your hands and round your back. Step the foot beside your right thumb, lower your back knee, and imagine that you're dragging your legs towards each other without moving them visibly. Root down through your legs, inhale the arms overhead, rolling the shoulders back and down in Anjaneyasana. We're gonna start to move to the breath here. So keep the back toes tucked, take another breath in. And as you exhale, lift the back knee and begin to scissor the right hip back, sweeping your arms forward and back as you bow, a wide version of pyramid pose. Inhale, lower the back knee, sweep the arms forward and up. Dropping the shoulders, lift your chest and gaze. Anjaneyasana. Exhale, lift the back knee. Scissor the right hip back towards straighten the legs. Arms sweeping behind you. Forward fold. 3 more times. Inhale. Anjaneyasana. Exhale into pyramid or Parsvottanasana. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Feel the navel drawing in as you move through both postures. Exhale, Parsvottanasana. Last round, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, Parsvottanasana. This time, bend the front knee, lower your fingertips to the top of your mat, and step the left foot hips distance from the right. Bend both knees, and here, inhale into chair, raising the arms. Clasp your hands behind your lower back, and exhale, bow from your hips, dropping the head, stretching the arms forward. Press your fingertips on the ground or blocks in front of your feet, and inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold again, dropping the head. Sweep your arms apart. Inhale, rise slowly to stand, interlacing your fingers overhead, but pointing the index fingers up. Exhale, side bend to your right, pressing the left foot into the earth. Inhale up to center. Exhale, side bend to the left, pressing the right foot down. Inhale up to center. Bend your elbows apart like a cactus shape and exhale into a standing back bend, tilting your chest up. Draw your tailbone towards your inner heels. Inhale, raise your arms, watch your palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Press into the ground or blocks. Inhale, lengthen forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back to plank pose and pause for 3 breaths there. Stacking your shoulders right above your wrists. Lower the knees on the ground if you need support. Otherwise, firm your inner heels back as you straighten the legs. Lift the sides of your waist. Lengthen the back of your neck. As you exhale, glide forward. Graze your elbows by your ribs through Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower all the way. Press the tops of your feet into the ground. Hug your elbows close. Inhale, Cobra, dropping the shoulders back. Tuck your toes. Firm in your belly. Exhale, press up to plank. Then lift your hips back, downward facing dog. Deep inhale. Slow exhale, recalibrating the breath. Keep your hips leveled again and inhale, raise your left leg behind you. As you exhale, bend that knee towards your nose, lift the belly high as you round your back in plank pose. Stepping the left foot forward beside your left thumb, lower your back knee. Energetically scissor your legs as you sweep your arms up. Anjaneyasana. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Keep the back toes tucked. Exhale, lift the back knee. Start to straighten your legs, scissoring the left hip back as you sweep the arms down behind you and bow. Pyramid pose. Inhale, lower the back knee. Sweep your arms forward and up. Coil your chest up, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, straighten the legs. Slowly sweep the arms behind you and bow, Parsvottanasana. 3 more cycles, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Feel the controlled movement as you engage the belly in. Exhale, Parsvottanasana, pyramid. Inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, Parsvottanasana. Last round, inhale, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, Parsvottanasana. Come into a high lunge. Lower your fingertips or raise your arms and step the right foot hips distance from the left, entering chair pose right away. Think towards your heels, breathe in. Clasp the hands behind your lower back, switching the thumb on top. Exhale, forward fold, stretch the arms forward. Press your fingertips on the ground or blocks. Inhale, lengthen your spine forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow in Uttanasana. Sweep your arms apart. Inhale, rise to stand. Interlace your fingers, accept your index. To your left side, exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise to center. To your right side, exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise to center. Bend your elbows apart. Exhale, tilt your heart up. Slide the shoulder blades down into a back bend. Inhale, raise your arms. Watch your palms touch. Exhale, forward fold. Let's take it through sun salutation A. Press with your fingertips. Inhale, lengthen forward. Walk to plank or lightly float to chaturanga, taking it through your vinyasa of choice. Inhaling to cobra or upward facing dog. And exhaling to downward facing. So let's add here some standing postures from downward dog. Keep your hips leveled again. And inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, round into plank. Bend the knee towards your nose and step the foot beside your right thumb, this time entering a high lunge, crescent pose. Inhale, rise up. Join your hands at your heart and drop the back heel. Align right heel to arch of left foot. Exhale, open the arms to warrior two. Let's pause and breathe for 3 more breaths. Bending the front knee just over the heel. Hug your right outer hip towards you. Firm the top of your left thigh bone back. Straighten your right leg. Triangle pose. Glide your hips towards the back wall. Reach your right hand towards the front wall and place that hand on the right side of your right shin. Reaching the left arm straight up. Turn your chest towards the sky. Deep breaths. Trikonasana. Half moon pose. Ardha Chandrasana. Gaze at the ground in front of your right foot. Bend your right knee and crawl your right hand 6 inches forward of your right pinky toe out to the right corner on a block of the floor. Drag your left foot forward and flex the foot off the ground. Turning your chest to the left, stack your shoulders over your right wrist. Feel free to play with a variation of this pose that you want to explore today. You want to come into full moon, bend the left knee towards your chest, and take hold of the top of your left foot, kicking the foot towards the rear wall as you pull the foot towards your glute. Ardha Chandra Chapasana. Whatever variation, let's tune into 3 more slow breaths. If your left knee is bent, slowly straighten your left leg. Keep flexing the foot. Bend your right knee and softly step back to warrior two. Flip your right palm to face up and inhale, peaceful warrior, side bending towards your back wall. Exhale, lower from plank into your vinyasa. Take it all the way through. Downward facing dog. Keeping your hips balanced. Inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, round into plank. Bend the knee towards your nose and step the foot softly beside your left thumb into a high lunge. Inhale, rise up into crescent pose. Join your hands at your heart and lower your back heel. Align front heel to arch a back foot. Exhale to warrior two. Let's pause. Setting your gaze just past your left hand. Steadying your breath. Left outer hip hugging towards you. Top of your right thigh bone firming back towards you. Now let's set up for triangle pose. Straighten your left leg. Glide your hips towards the back wall and reach the left hand towards your front wall before placing that hand on the left side of your left shin. As you raise your right arm straight up, spiral your chest slightly towards the full moon. Deep breaths here. Trikonasana. Let's take the same shape in your body into flight, balancing in half moon, Ardha Chandrasana. Gaze at the ground ahead of your left foot, bend your left knee, and place your left hand about 6 inches forward and to the left outer corner of your left foot, on a block or the floor. Drag your right foot in, flex it, raising the right leg about parallel to the ground. Stack your shoulders over your left wrist. Check in with your breath as you steady your gaze. Now, if you explored Ardha Chandra Champasana on the first side, then bend your right knee towards your belly and catch the top of your right foot with your right hand. Kick the foot towards the back wall as you pull it towards your glute, rolling open your right shoulder. Let's see another 3 breaths. Observe the sensations in your body here. Observe your intention coming to play. Now, if your right knee is bent, straighten the right leg, keep flexing the foot, bend your left knee, and slowly step back to Warrior Two. Then flip your left palm to face up and inhale, Peaceful Warrior side bend towards the back wall. Exhale your hands to the floor, entering your choice of your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. Remember that you can rest anytime that you need to, whether in child's pose or whatever resting looks like for you. So take care of yourself. Finish a couple more deep breaths in Adho Mukha Svanasana. Steady gaze, steady mind, steady body. When you hear the end of your next exhalation, walk or lightly jump to the top of your mat, forward fold. Let your feet come together to touch, then inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees together. Inhale, chair pose. Entering sun salutation B. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lengthen forward. Step or float back. Take it through your vinyasa. From downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. Exhale, round forward and step the foot beside your right thumb. Spin your back heel down. Warrior One. Inhale, rise up. Exhale into your vinyasa. Second side from downward dog. Inhale, raise your left leg. Exhale, round forward, step the foot beside your left thumb, and spin the back heel down. Inhale, rise up, Virabhadrasana 1. Exhale to lower into your vinyasa. Three breaths, slowing down your breathing, cultivating awareness of this present moment and the next. When you finish your third exhalation, walk or float to the front of your mat. Feet together, inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, fold. With knees together, inhale, chair pose. Exhale to rise up. And then from here, set your feet apart, hips distance, parallel. Actually, let's turn to face the wide width of your mat. And step your feet much wider apart, preparing for a wide-legged forward fold. Now, you may want to have blocks in front of you, just so you have more options. Bring your hands to your hips, roll your shoulders back, inhale, look up, then exhale, hinge from your hips, leaning your weight forward. Lower your fingertips on blocks or the ground, and inhale, press your heart through your upper arms, draw the shoulders back. Firm in the belly, and exhale, continue to bow in. Now, a couple of options: either clasp your big toes with your index and middle fingers and pull yourself further in, dropping the head, bending the elbows apart, and lifting the shoulders away from your neck. Another option is to practice tripod headstand, placing the hands past your heels, bending the elbows back like chaturanga. Top of the head to the floor. As you press down with the hands, lift the shoulders away from the neck. Then either place your knees on your upper arms and then start to straighten the legs, or straddle the legs apart and bring them together vertically, flexing the feet. Whatever variation of your inversion, let's take another 4 deep breaths. If your feet are off the ground, slowly place them back on the earth, wide-legged forward fold, Prajvarita Padottanasana. Crawl your fingertips forward. Inhale, lengthen forward. Exhale, bend your knees and place your hands on your hips. Inhale, slowly rise all the way up and pivot to face the back of your mat so that your right foot is your front foot. Turn your hips to face that short width of the mat and separate your feet about hips distance, returning to warrior one. Bend the right knee just over the heel and scissor the right hip back. Straighten your left leg and turn the left hip forward. Then raise your arms overhead into warrior one. Now here, draw the navel towards your spine, activate your center, and start to lean the torso forward to hover the belly off the right thigh. You could bring the arms by your sides, palms face down, or keep the arms overhead, making it more rigorous. And let's prepare to enter warrior three. Now, if you want to take your blocks and place them in front of your feet, you can lower your fingertips on your blocks. Otherwise, tilt forward and flex the left foot as you raise the left leg and tilt your spine forward to a horizontal line. Check in with your breathing as you steady your eyes on the ground just ahead of you. Whatever variations of your arms you'd like to explore. Last 3 breaths. Slowly step back to warrior one. Inhale your arms overhead and straighten the right leg. Pivot your feet towards the wide width of your mat to your left, and then we'll pivot to face the front of the mat, so your left foot will be in front. Warrior one. Separate your feet hips width apart, both hips facing the short edge of the mat. Bend your left knee just over the left heel and scissor your left hip back. Straighten your right leg as you press the outer heel on the floor and turn your right hip forward. Then raise your arms. And let's pause here for a few breaths. Virabhadrasana 1. Draw your navel in towards your spine and slightly up towards your heart. And tilt your torso forward to hover the belly off your left thigh, Degasana. You can place the arms down by your sides, palms face down, or keep the arms overhead if you're looking for more rigor. Steady your breathing and gaze at the ground ahead of your mat. Start to tilt your weight forward into Virabhadrasana 3. Remember, you have the option of using blocks. Turn your right hip to face the floor and scissor your left hip back, finding balance at your center. 3 more breaths. Slowly step right foot back to warrior 1. Arms overhead, deep breath. And exhale, lower your fingertips and take your vinyasa if you like, or step straight to downward facing dog, maybe child's pose. Now spot where your blocks are and make sure that they're both near the front of your mat. Then from downward facing dog, inhale, raise your right leg behind you. This time, exhale, step the foot to the right side of your right hand, entering lizard lunge. Lower your back knee and bend it. Lean your weight forward onto your left thigh. You can place your hands in blocks if that offers more accessibility here. So in this version, let's go ahead and flex your right foot and splay open your right thigh, leaning the outer edge of your right foot on the ground. Gently scissor your right hip back. Now, if available, backstroke your right arm to open the front of the right shoulder and take hold of the left foot. Slowly bringing the left foot closer to your glutes. You might find it possible to lower your left forearm, maybe not. These are just options, so explore in your body what's available where you can balance effort with ease. Feel into the breath and notice how it's informing you whether or not you're balancing effort and ease. Take the breath as a guide here. 4 more breaths. Gently release your back foot. Step your right foot to the inside of your right hand, just beside the thumb. And now place your hands in blocks. Let's prepare for Ardha, half or full Hanumanasana. As you straighten your right leg, flex your right foot, curling the toes back towards the shin. Scissor your right outer hip back and send your left outer hip forward so both hips are evenly facing the front of your mat. Flex the front muscle of your right thigh without locking the knee, offering support to the back muscle of your right thigh, your hamstring. You might stay right here, or going further, you might begin to slide the right heel forward, making sure to keep the left toes tucked. You might also place a block underneath the middle of your right hamstring to support the leg as you free up your hands to hold your hips so that they can keep your hips facing forward. You might eventually lower all the way to the ground, maybe not. Without force, find the balance of effort and ease as you breathe. Maybe you raise the arms up and interlace the fingers, except the index. Or maybe you bow towards the right shin. You have a lot of options here. Feel into your body and what option is the most benefit to you right now. Now let's take another 5 deep breaths. Now, exiting this posture, be mindful. Go slowly. Place your hands on your blocks or the ground. Lift your torso slowly. Drag your right foot back, re-entering downward facing dog. Pause there for 3 breaths. Notice what you're feeling in your body. Then inhale, raise your left leg behind you. Exhale, step the foot to the left side of your left hand. Lower your back knee for lizard lunge. Bending the back knee, lean your weight towards your right thigh. Flex your left foot and splay open your left thigh, leaning the outer edge of the foot on the ground. Remember, you could use blocks under your hands if that helps to manage this pose better. Scissor the left hip back. If it's available for you, backstroke your left arm and catch hold of your right foot, bring it closer. You might also explore lowering your right forearm. Whatever variation you're in, remember there's no better or worst version. It's all about you creating harmony with your body, listening to it as it tells you what its parameters are or what's possible today, and finding contentment in that. Remember, that's part of yoga as well. Accepting what is, breathing through 4 more breaths. Gently release your right leg straight. Walk your left foot to the inside of your left hand. Take your blocks under your hands and slide the left heel forward to straighten the front leg as you flex the foot, scissoring the left outer hip back. Here we are in Ardha Hanumanasana, which means half split. If it's available, continue to slide the left heel forward as you tuck the right toes, exploring whatever range towards full split. You might place the block under the center of your hamstring and place your hands in your hips to help keep your hips squaring forward. You might eventually lower all the way down to sit, maybe raising the arms overhead and interlacing your fingers except the index, or bowing forward. So take whatever configuration of these different variations that best suits what you're working with today. And let's pause for 5 deep breaths. Take your time to mindfully transition back to downward facing dog one last time. Place your hands on blocks or the floor. Lift your torso. Slide your left foot back and pause in downward dog for a few breaths. Notice what you're feeling here this time around. From downward dog, inhale forward to plank pose. Take a few breaths to very slowly lower all the way to your stomach, entering our final back bends. Rest your forehead on the ground and interlace your fingers behind your lower back, keeping the legs straight. Slide your knees close together. Spread your toes and firm all your toenails into the ground, actively stretching your tailbone and heels towards your rear wall. Inhale, keep your feet on the floor and peel your chest off the ground, sliding the shoulders down your back. Look on the floor ahead and lengthen the back of your neck. Count another 5 to 7 breaths, stretching the knuckles of your hands towards your feet, and now pressing your heels back to lift your legs straight. Bound locust pose. Pada Shalabhasana. Keeping your feet parallel, spin your inner thighs towards the sky. Stretch your tailbone towards your heels. When you're ready to release and relax, you might make a pillow out of your forearms for your forehead and pause for 3 breaths. We have one more back bend on our bellies. Choose to practice the same posture again, or join me in bow pose, Dhanurasana. Either way, scoot your knees close together. And if you're going to bow, bend your knees and catch your outer feet or inner feet. Kick your feet away as you pull them in, lifting your knees high, 5 to 7 breaths. Keep your knees no wider apart than hips distance. And remember to lengthen the back of your neck. Again, when you're done, you might make a pillow out of your forearms, and this time maybe windshield wiper your shins side to side to help release your lower back. Let's slide through child's pose momentarily. Sink your hips to your heels and stretch your arms actively forward for 3 breaths. Balasana. Then slowly come up to sit. Step your feet in front of you for one more back bend, either bridge or upward facing bow, Urdhva Dhanurasana. Set your feet hips width apart. You might choose to hug a block by the skinniest width between your knees and thighs for lower back support. Lying down, find your feet with your hands. Have your heels where you could almost touch them with your fingertips. Ground your shoulders and take your bridge or upward bow. 5 to 7 breaths. Keep your feet parallel, keep your thighs parallel, and tilt your chin slightly away from your chest if you're in bridge. Setu Bandha Sarvangasana. And once you've lowered all the way down, pelvis on the ground, wrap your right leg over your left leg like eagle pose and slide your pelvis closer to the right edge of your mat. Let's prepare for a spinal twist, lying down. Open your right arm out to the right, ground the shoulder, and lifting your feet, begin to drop your knees to the left. Keeping the right shoulder on the floor, you might look towards it. Take about 5 breaths here. Now with your left hand, if you want to feel more depth in the twist, you could press away your right outer hip so it tilts slightly towards the front edge of your mat. Excuse me. Roll onto your back. Let's switch the cross of your legs. Then slide your hips closer to the left edge of your mat. Slide your left arm wide on the floor, grounding the shoulder. Lift your feet and drop your knees to the right. If you want to feel more traction for your lower spine, place your right hand on your left outer hip and gently push it away towards the front edge of your mat. And then rolling onto your back, let's rock forward to sit, coming into Paschimottanasana, extending your legs straight forward, flex your feet. You might like to use a strap around the balls of your feet or walk your hands down your legs and eventually clasp your big toes. Ground your sitting bones, lift tall through the spine, relax the shoulders, breathe in. And then as you breathe out, hinge slowly. firming in the belly, slightly lifting your chest, and lengthening the front and back of your neck. Hanumanasana. Next, inhale, lead with your chest, slowly rise up. And I invite you to a practice of shoulder stand with an option to move into plow pose. If you have neck issues, neck injuries, grab a block, lie on your back, bend your knees. And as you press your feet on the ground, lift your hips and place the block under your sacrum. And then lift your legs straight up, and you can practice supported shoulder stand. And if you're practicing the full-on traditional shoulder stand, I invite you to grab a folded blanket, fold it about the thickness of 1.5 inches, and then place the smooth edge of the fold to face the rear edge of your mat, located about a foot inward from the edge of the mat. Lie down on the blanket so that the tops of your shoulder bones are about 1/2 inch inward from the edge of the blanket. Back of the head is on the floor so that you're here encouraging the natural space, the length and curvature of your neck. Then root your elbows on the blanket alongside your rib cage, really close to your ribs. Use your hands to lift your pelvis off the ground without swinging the legs. And then lift up through the inner edges of your feet as you bring them together to touch. Stacking your ankles over your hips and stacking your hips over your shoulders, tilting your chin slightly back. You could stay here in traditional shoulder stand, also called Salamba Sarvangasana, or bring the legs overhead into plow halasana, in which you might interlace the fingers, straightening the arms on the ground. So whatever your cooling inversion, give it about 5 more deep breaths. And gently begin to lower your pelvis to the floor. Maybe come into happy baby pose for about 3 breaths, just transitioning. Draw your bent knees into your chest and roll over to one side. Slowly lift your torso up to sit. And before we take fish pose into Shavasana, I invite you into a practice of alternate nostril breathing. So sit up in a way that you can feel balanced in your hips, lifted in your spine, and relaxed in your body. Rest your left hand on your lap. You might bring the thumb and first finger to touch with the palm face down, cultivating grounding energy. With your right hand, stick out the thumb, pinky, and ring finger. We'll be closing the right nostril with the right thumb, and we'll be closing the left nostril with a ring and pinky finger like this. All breathing through the nose, mouth closed. You might close your eyes and steady your inner gaze at your brow center, third eye center. Let's begin by exhaling this breath out and holding it. Right thumb, close right nostril. Inhale through the left for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold here for 3, 2, 1. Cover left nostril. Exhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Inhale right, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Cover right. Exhale left. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold 3, 2, 1. Round 2. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Cover left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Hover right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Round 3. Inhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Hover left. Exhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Inhale right for 6. Hold for 3. Hover right. Exhale left for 6. Hold for 3. Last round on your own. When you finish emptying through the left nostril and holding, relax, breathe naturally, and observe. Let's take fish pose together. Come to lie down on your back, straighten the legs forward and bring your feet together and relax. Place your palms face down under your glutes with thumbs touching each other. Press down with your palms and elbows and lift your chest, tilt your chin back. You might place the crown of your head on the ground and just allow 3 to 5 breaths here. Maybe long exhales through the mouth. Cooling breaths. When you're ready, slowly lower all of your body to the earth. Maybe give your knees one last hug and splay your legs apart and turn your palms up by your sides. Closing your eyes, letting go of controlling your breathing, and dropping in to stillness. Rest in Shavasana for about 5 minutes before meditation. Resting here for a few more moments. Tune into the sensations in your body that are happening now. Observe how your body has responded to your physical yoga practice. Gently, you might place your left hand on the middle of your chest. Place your right hand just below your belly button. Feel the natural waves of your breath. Sense how you feel in your energy body. Now notice your mind and your emotional being. What feels alive for you there? As you continue to pay close attention internally, maybe closing the eyes, begin to turn gently to your right side. Pause a moment there. Place your hands on the ground and slowly lift your torso. Place your body in a comfortable position to sit for 5 minutes in meditation. Whether eyes closed or a steady, soft gaze at eye level ahead. Place your hands in a gesture or mudra that allows you to be attentive to the present moment. Like thumb and index fingers touching, palms face down, or palms stacked face up on the center of your lap. Let's begin. Choose your point of focus. I mentioned a mantra that you might find relevant today on this full moon, which is, I heal the familial wound by communicating my needs. I heal the familial wound by communicating my needs. If that's relevant for you, continue to chant that mentally to the rise and fall of your natural breath. And if it's not so relevant today, you might instead open up to the possibility of what you're bringing closure to on this full moon tonight. Maybe ask yourself, your inner wisdom, what am I wrapping up on this full moon? And then just allow space for whatever arises, listening inward. As we near the end of this practice, I invite you to reflect on how you feel in this present moment. After meditation, after asana yoga, and even maybe what came up for you during meditation, where your attention went, any insights perhaps. And as you join your palms together at your heart, recall your intention for this full moon practice. Allow yourself to feel that intention already happening, already in existence now, as you breathe in and as you breathe out. Then remember that someone or that community or that collective that you chose to offer this practice to today. Take a moment to picture them receiving benefit from your practice. And now to close, let's join our voices in one Om. Inhale deeply. Om. Bow in towards your heart center. Acknowledge the light within you. The light in me bows to the light in you. Namaste.